Greetings and konnichiwa, and welcome back to the Onyx Tavern vlog series on ToQger. Today we are talking about Station 7. Very curious title here. Inconsolable, Unmotivatable. And this episode is just a complete waste of time. I'm sorry, I did not enjoy this episode, and there's nothing really redeeming about it. Let's talk about the story. The A plot primarily has to do with a monster who makes people unmotivated, stamps their face, and makes them, well, Americans, pretty much, makes them lazy. So there's your A plot, and, well, the B plot is Kakura. She basically is pretending to be a ninja, playing pretend and all that. She breaks Hikari, I keep getting their names wrong, sorry, breaks his little toy, the kendama, which I believe is some sort of Japanese toy, while she's playing pretend. And basically what's running through the B-plot here is that she believes that he is mad about the situation and doesn't want to talk to her, doesn't want to go ahead and do anything, and all she's trying to do is apologize to the situation. And of course the two plots merge, and again, it's just a pretty lame, it's a lame setup, and it's a pretty boring payoff. So basically what happens is, so, the three of the Rangers, Rai, Takati, and Mio are all affected by the monster. They're all unmotivated to fight. So, of course, it puts our two characters who are in conflict with each other. But it's really a false conflict because Hikari, he was upset at the moment it happened that he was able to repair his toy, and it was over for him. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I overreacted, but hey, let's get down to work. Kakura, she's basically like, she's petrified of him now. She feels he's going to go ahead and snap and react to all this and get really, really mad and all that without, again, approaching him until the second act. And really that's what we have for the first two acts, is her being scared to talk to him and being around him. And then by the start of the third act, they've made up and made a plan and all that. So it's just really lame. Here's the thing. I understand that our characters were children and have loss of memory and now are teenagers, or young adults, basically. So I can see how some of the plots would evolve around, things that children would go ahead and do. And of course, Kakara being the youngest, well, not the youngest, but the most immature. Let me go ahead and put it that way. She's the most immature of all the characters. I can see her reacting that way, but it seems like there was a better thing that they could have done than this. It was just really lame. And the way that it pulls together is that the two at the end are able to use their imagination, basically, to form a human kendama, basically. So we have, Hikari's axe. He pulls it up, uses the rail on it, in which Kakura, she grabs onto it and becomes uses her imagination to become like a steel ball or something, to where he's flinging her around and attacking the enemy with her. And it's really weird. And I understand that the whole imagination thing and the whole childlike wonder of it is a running motif of this series, but it just seems really distracting and odd and nonsensical that they were able to tie in this B-plot about her breaking his toy, and that's what saves the day. There could have been a dozen other ways they could have done this, but they came up with some goofy plan and all that. And again, I understand that that's probably what the show is going for, is this childlike innocence and wonder, what would a child do in this situation? So I kind of get that. It doesn't mean I have to like it, but I get it. It just really, the episode came off as extremely goofy based on that. Which I know is saying a lot that we've seen here, but man, that was just kind of like stretching it, I think. There's no real character development between any of our characters right here. We don't really learn anything new about them. Yeah, Hikari, we find that he has a flashback when he gets the toy for the first time as a child, which He would have to. You would logically assume that unless he got it during the time he lost his memory. But I don't know. It was a complete waste. There wasn't anything really new learned. Okay, let me correct myself. What we did learn is that the darkness can heal the villains. That was done with the stamp monster. And we know that Gorilla, she uses it to keep herself beautiful. So she needs a lot more darkness if she wants to be beautiful. And of course, the villains, there's a little bit of like backstabbing going on, but when have we not seen that before? I mean, really, nothing was particularly learned right here. But I do just have a couple of inquiries and comments that I have about some things I don't think were particularly thought out. Wagon in this episode was kind of interesting because, well, we know she's been taking photos before in her phone of the ToQgers and things going on. But I just kind of realized, who is she taking those photos for? Because, you know, you watch a lot of shows and girls will take a lot of photos or send them to their Twitter or Facebook. Does Wagon have a Twitter account? That's just something that's kind of odd to me. And then when the other characters are being lazy, you know, her and Ticket are having this debate amongst one another, and just kind of get that image in your head, a robot, or at least I think she's a robot, arguing with a hand puppet. Only in Japan, I guess. And basically what comes out of the argument is that she decides to go on strike. And they have this little debate about how she's unmotivated, and that's why she's striking. That's kind of what comes out of the dialogue. And I wonder if that's not some sort of social commentary about how people, maybe even the Japanese, view protesters. That they look at them as unmotivated, lazy people just trying to get more for less. I could be stretching that, but that's exactly what it plays off as, is that the people striking is Wagon, who is pretending to be lazy like the others who are lazy because of the monster's effect on them. So is this some sort of commentary regarding laziness of employees and strikers and protesters or unions in general? I just wonder what the Japanese take is on that, because it definitely comes across that they look down upon those types of people, much the way Americans do. You know, they don't like people who strike, even though they're fighting for their rights and things to make their jobs better. But whatever. So that's... Oh, and why does the conductor have a Ninja DVD series? I know that's an odd thing to comment about, but I just kind of get this thing of like him leaving the train with Ticket and going out and buying DVDs and then coming back to the Rainbow Line. Something is odd there. I can't put my finger on it, but the fact that he owns these Ninja DVDs, again, just kind of strikes me as odd. So, yeah, that's about all we have on this episode. So, you know, I'm going to be honest. I think eventually, once I get to the end of the series, I can go over episodes that I think were meaningful, serve a purpose, and are definitely viewable. But I will say of the first 7 episodes, this is the first one in which I say you should completely skip, because there's nothing redeeming here. Unless this sows the seeds of a romantic relationship between our green and pink rangers, I don't see it as being worth anything. Yes, the ending does lead him into finding the next train, whichever that one is, or next rush hour. But that's something that could be established at the beginning of the next episode, and I don't know why. I guess it's a cliffhanger, and who knows. But yeah, episode pretty bad, pretty worthless. Nothing really stands out about it. Just kind of generic everything. So, well, that's all I really got. So I apologize for being shorter than usual, but I will see you guys next time, and we will be looking at Station 8. Have a good night.